Logan Street line trying to weave through. Out wide, Lock Eagle driving through. Red Top the inside. Lock Eagle down the outside. Lock Eagle grabbing the lead. Late punched out. Lock Eagle's in front and Lock Eagle's won.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. This is Brisvegas style. It's Falvelon Stakes and BJ McLachlan Stakes Day. And we've also got Gold Coast night racing kicking off for the first time. I'm down in Sin City. I'm in Melbourne. Donnie, my co-pilot, he's operating from home. He's just had the haircut. He's going to go to the Gold Coast night meeting tonight. Donnie, how are you, brother?
Good, mate. Yeah, pumped. Can't wait to get out to the Gold Coast races tonight for the Magic Millions debutante and a couple other nice races. It's going to be an unreal night and can't wait to get out there.
Big, deep cards, not only at the Gold Coast, but at Eagle Farm. And thank gosh, the weather has finally turned up in southeast Queensland. It wasn't good enough for the cricket. A couple of days late there, and it was Noah's Ark stuff last Saturday at Eagle Farm. You did well to get out without your, just have a shirt on and a dry shirt. But Tom Henjak, I'm not sure if you were at the races last Saturday. It was just Johnny McLeod, but the heavens opened. How did you cope with the meeting?
Yeah, well, I was absolutely soaked. We had hell in, obviously. Obviously no one forecasted that much rain to come, and especially it just kept raining, and I was like, oh, surely they're not going to keep going, and they did. The meeting got through it. I guess the most important part is trying to predict how the track's going to play again this week. We had a bit of rain earlier in the week, but it has been quite hot and warm the last couple of days, and look, there isn't any rain forecast today and tomorrow, but you never know at this rate.
GK, you survived the meeting. You were pretty nimble. Just being in your chat room, you changed a couple of bets on the fly, but welcome back and excited for this weekend's racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think just when there's, rain-affected tracks, especially Eagle Farm, you just know that it plays really based on lanes. And, I think a lot of people probably underestimate the importance of wide barriers at Eagle Farm when we get meetings like that. So like drawing wide, off speed, that's just the premium spot a lot of the time at Eagle Farm. So look, it's going to be dry conditions this week, but I'm still expecting, lanes 1, 2 probably inferior. And I'd say by the back half of the meeting, we're still coming towards the middle.
Outstanding, yeah. As Tommy alluded to, Hell wheels spun, Cherry Rose, her wheels completely spun, and then Scripted and Bounding were late scratching, so they'll be safe for another day. GK, you sent out some good bets in your chat room as conditions prevailed, and I think that's maybe the lesson there for last week, not just the wide gates, but as track conditions change, you need to change your strategy slightly, and hopefully to this week's show, we can, we'll be able to bet with a fair bit more confidence with, I think, Gold Coast expected to be maybe a good 4, and then Eagle Farm might be a 4 or 5 or a 6. So there's it's nothing like it was last week. But thank God, Tommy Henjak, they got through that meeting because Blessed Lock Eagle was an absolute beauty. I'd snuck out for dinner nice and early for a Christmas party, and he rode it a little bit colder than I'd like, but when it come roaring down the outside, I thought, this is lights out. This is beautiful business.
Yeah, well, I think, and maybe it was just, they end up going pretty hard in front. I think that was, who was the leader? Exotic Miss. And, I think Robbie Dolan just he tried to go a little bit too slow last start, and then he just kind of put the hammer down, and Lockie with the blinkers off got a little bit far back, but Bailey Wheeler, God bless him, got to the right part of the track and came down the outside like GK said. Those outside gates are just gold when not only is you have to get off the inside lanes in the straight, the rails in the run, the inside lanes are just completely cactus. They say there's just so much kickback and it just flies back into their face.
Yeah, well, I think Angela Jones has cemented a spot as Queen of Brisbane and nearly the premier rider, as we referenced a couple of weeks ago. I know GK's the number 1 ticket holder, but we might have to go toe-to-toe in a fighting match to see who gets that crown for the rest of this year or this racing season. And Donnie's still chirping up for Jace. But, yeah, his comments are probably not suitable for the show, but it's a distant love in there. Tonight, Donnie, you think there's going to be 6 to 10,000 there at the Gold Coast, so this is massive. So they've opened up the gates free to public. This is going to be an absolute cracking race night tonight, and we're going to have a look at races 4 and 6 on Friday's card, and then we've got a fair preview for Eagle Farm. We've got races 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10. So we'll kick the show off, and we'll get moving along as quick as we can, because there's plenty of action there to cover, and we probably owe you guys a couple of races, given we've had some rain delays. So you guys listening at home should be able to bet with a fair bit of confidence, I would have thought, over the next 24, 48 hours. TopSport Steam has found a couple. Mullane was a good one. Some deductions there, though. And then obviously Lock Eagle was a beauty. And the other bets was Cherry Rose. Orton was saved for this week, so we'll ask the boys if they think it's suited. Make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. As soon as you get these big, deep fields, one of the best databases to use is Punting Form. They cut down the time immensely. Instead of spending like an hour on a race, I reckon I can get them down to maybe 20 minutes or 15 minutes if they're massive, massive fields. So make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. It's the database that it's been a game changer for me. I can skip into any jurisdiction and do the form super quick there. Gold Coast Friday, Donnie, you think it's going to be a good 4 with real drying conditions, but how do you expect the track to play?
On the dry track at the Gold Coast, especially over the sprint distance, it can be significantly on speed, but I think there's been enough juice in the track and enough rain around that it shouldn't. I think it'll play pretty fair, maybe a slight on pace advantage early, and it might even up as the day goes on. But we've seen the last few weeks on the wet track at Gold Coast, they've been getting towards the outside fence. I don't think it's going to play like that. I think it'll be a pretty perfect deck out there tonight, and I think every horse will get their chance.
Fingers crossed. All right, let's have a look at the first race. We're going to have Tommy Turbo's identified a couple of good bets here. It's race 4. It's the Notorious Punters Club benchmark 62 handicap. If those boys are on track, I'm tipping it's going to get a bit rowdy, especially by 20 to 8. I Am Caviar's a favourite. This is a 1,000-metre race, so I Am Caviar's 370 favourite. In from 5, you got Stella Lady 440, Monte Cruz $7, $8 Tellez, massive drifter there. King Yoshi $8, Adern $9, Platinum Lies $9, Cricket's Chirping $9.50 in from 21, Untouchable Legend 19 into $9.50. Don't Call Me Honey $10, Kwame 13, 14 for Grand Crusader, and then 21 for Russian Mint, and much better the rest. Real funny one, I think. Turbo, we spoke about this market being upside down, and the first horse you like here is in the Australian Bloodstock colours, back along probably 2 off the fence, and never gets clear air here.
Yeah, so this was a Class 1, I think it was, at the Sunshine Coast, which was won by Stella Lady, who's in the pink and the yellow cap, and it had the perfect run in transit coming down the middle of the track. As you said, the Cricket's Chirping's in the Australian Bloodstock colours, just jockeys breaking out in carbuncles there, trying to extricate himself out of trouble. It was first up there that night, and it was really interesting because the form behind it was pretty ordinary. The trial was quite good going into that run, and it opened like 20th in that race and was spec'd straight into the $9 or $8 straight away in early market. So whether that was kind of the trial spies and whatever, having a little bit of an early dig, but I was kind of giving it none, and then when I watched the race, I was like, gee, this thing's actually going quite good and probably should have gone close to winning. Looking at its kind of other runs, it looks like a little bit of a head case. So I was a little bit nervous to kind of pile into it, but like maybe it's just come back a little bit more mature, this preparation. The blinkers have come off. Its form in New Zealand before they brought it over here was quite good. So maybe there's something there, and it's a race that there's not a whole lot of depth to it. Look, a lot of these horses have kind of found their mark, and the main thing being is, as Donnie said, I think the track's going to be quite fair, even over 1,000 metres. I think they'll be edging off the inside anyway, so I guess it's going to be a slight query, Mallion getting off the inside when he needs to, but kind of at the price. I thought it was just a really easy bet to have. It was much better odds the last 2 days, and it just thought I was going to come on here and tip one that was 20s in the 7s or 6s and be a hero, but now it's already into kind of $9, $10, and it's probably going to start 8s and probably run a good third or something. But as I said, I think there's really good speed, so it should be able to relax really well. And look, as I said, there's a lot of horses that have found their marks or going quite ordinary at the moment, so it could be one that could just jump out of the ground.
The other horse that I sort of identified, and I didn't mind its trial, was one of Peter Robles' horses. It's called Untouchable Legend, so you can just see it in the white and red. And the horse that wins this, Star Ambition, it's actually engaged in race 6, and I sort of give that a knockout hope for the Edmonds camp from the Gold Coast in the 1,000-metre scamper. So I guess this is sort of like the B division of the 1,000-metre races here, and despite sort of getting urged along compared to the other horse, I still thought this was an okay trial to suggest that this horse may be back to somewhere at its best. I think that was about 15 days ago. And again, similar to you, I sort of looked at the price of this run. It was sort of 30s. And now overnight, both horses, as you suggested, have been crunched in. So at $9.50, I'm sort of less excited, and I could see it maybe running a place at sort of $3 a place. But I didn't think that the market would, gravitate to these horses quite quickly. But what do you think of that trial, or even Star Ambition as a bit of a guide? Because this horse had some okay form around Caulfield and Rose Hill and Sydney area, but it's obviously had some problems and issues.
Yeah, I thought if it found its best form, it could probably blow them away, to be quite honest with you. But it's not going to get a run, unfortunately, because now that we're filming the show a little bit after, there's been, I think it was third emergency, and nothing else has come out. So you might have to wait for another day. But just referencing the market, as you said, I think the favourites, I'm Caviar, come out of a really high rating race at Ipswich. But look, it's just the kind of horse where you just kind of have to full send it. Like it's just very one dimensional. And with all the pressure up front and coming back in distance, if it wins, I'm just happy to lose. And then, like, so many of the others, like Ardern, comes off some pretty ordinary Toowoomba form last preparation. So, as you said, there's some real holes in the market. Well, not holes, but the favourites are just way too short. So, it's a race where you can kind of play out wide, I think, and get a result.
Donnie, have you? This is your sort of sweet spot, 1,000 metres. Camel race?
Yeah, they are a bunch of camels, but I referenced earlier that the 1,000 metres on a dry track, I love backing leaders at the Gold Coast on the new surface. So the only horse I could probably back is I Am Caviar, just because I think it's going to find the top pretty easily. It was good last start over 1,100. They went kind of slow to the 8 and then kicked on pretty hard up home after that. So it's going to find the top, and it might be hard to catch. So it could be a small bet. Just going to see how the track looks when I get out there tonight.
GK, anything of interest?
Yeah, no idea. This is not my type of race at all.
If we can't jag one of the roughies there, it looks like a bit of a trappy race. Gold Coast Race 6 is the feature. It's the GC 1000. Big prize money here. It's a 3-year-old plate over, as I said, 1,000 metres. Arabian Summer's a favourite, $2.45. Mashani Lily, $3.20. Cosmic Fire, $8. Moreland Miss, $13. You got Petticoat, $13. Overfull, $14. Star Ambition, as we just saw in that trial, $16. Inversion, $17. And Zuma Boy is $20. And then you've got Shows a Sign at $21. And much, much better the rest. A couple of replays we'll have a look at here. And you're away with these, Donnie. Overfull, this is the first one.
Yeah, this is Overfull on the heavy track last start. It's had 2 goes. It's a preparation on heavy tracks, and it hasn't found whatsoever. So I'm prepared just to completely forgive those 2 runs. So that was first up at Flemington in a listed race. It started $10. It didn't fire. And last start in another listed race, it started $3.80. It was well backed and didn't fire a shot at all. So it comes back onto the dry track here, back to 1,000 metres, which is absolutely perfect for this horse. And there's an absolute stack of speed on paper. There's about 10 or 12 horses that are looking to find the top. So I'm hoping that this horse Overfull can just sit maybe to the second or third pair in the running line. And it's got the 1,200 metre fitness coming back to 1,000. So I think it's great odds at around the $14, $15 mark. So I'm happy to make it a big each way play.
Moreland Miss is the other one. It's in the white with the blue spots here. Just sort of sits second.
Yeah, decent trial for Moreland Miss. It stretched out to 1,200 metres last preparation as well. So it's fresh here at 1,000, so it's trialled well. It's had a good first preparation, and I think it's just going to stalk the speed in behind, and it'll be looking for runs around the 400 metre mark, looking to dive through. I think the 2 favourites in this race, we can bet around them with confidence. I haven't given them much chance at all, so I'm looking to play Overfull for a big result, and I'll have something on Moreland Miss as well.
Yeah, it's just looking at the data on punting form. I thought the syndicates might mark or stamp Mashani Lily as favourite. I know Donna's probably not the most popular trainer, but you've got Arabian Summer coming off sort of 200 days first up with the Gold Coast Carnival, the official carnival, sort of in a couple of weeks' time, maybe as a bigger target race. So they might be just using this as half a pipe opener. But I might refer to you first, Tommy. Is there anything that catches your eye in this race?
Yeah, I thought it was a really tricky race, and I thought the mark would probably stay with the top two in the market and kind of gap a lot of the rest, just given the weight conditions of the race, like a set weight penalty. So Mashani Lily and what's the other one?
Arabian Summer.
Arabian Summer, yeah. They're just kind of thrown in against what some of the others have done. Like Arabian Summer put a hole through Moulin Miss. I think it was the Aquas Pearl race down on the Gold Coast when they were 2-year-olds. Mashani Lily, I'd side with it. I don't know about 1,000, maybe 1,100, probably more its go, but it does come here fresh. Arabian Summer, I love the trial too, but I can see where Donnie's coming from because Moulin Miss is probably one that could just keep improving, whereas the other two have kind of found their level. And I think Moulin Miss might be a little bit better ridden colder, which I think they might try here behind a really hot speed.
GK, agree with some of those points?
Yeah, look, I've got Arabian Summer as a favourite, but I do have it pretty significantly longer than what the current market is. Like, I think I've got Arabian Summer $3.50.
Yeah, right.
It's just the map. Like, when I looked at it, like, I think Bubba Tilly's just going to go handle bars down on Shows a Sign like he does. And then I thought Arabian Summer probably just grabs its back and then it's going to need luck in the straight. The trial was awesome. But it's not a betting proposition for me because I think it's too short. So then I was sort of looking for things off speed and that sort of led me towards, is Cosmic Fire potentially one that's going to get the run stalking? I don't know. Like I just want to see how the track plays, to be honest, but really tricky race.
Cosmic Fire, I thought the run was full of merit on debut. I know, Tommy, there's been a lot of horses fail through that meeting and it could be a bit of fake news, but I like the style and I like the type of him. Have you got any thoughts about Cosmic Fire?
Yeah, well, that meeting was almost a month ago now. So, look, in the hindsight of that race, the form of it hasn't been very strong and I think it's a bit too short, but it's another one where it could just keep improving. And look, it's two big runs have been on wet track. So I'd be surprised if the market found it. And if you like it, you'll probably get better late. But as GK said also, like if the track's playing like they're coming wide, then I'll probably end up backing it just because it's going to be in the right kind of spot. Like with all the pressure up front, it's going to be blending into the race kind of in the running line. And that's probably where you want to be in a high pressure 1,000-meter race.
Yeah, I hadn't pulled the trigger yet, and I thought the market might risk it. So I'll be happy to bet super late there. Donnie, be ultra kind to me here because I'm going to throw out an absolute knockout runner. I took a little bit of 90s. I had a peanut on Pride to Follow at 90s. It's got the Musselbrook scone sort of form. They're your sort of ponds to swim in. You can just say no politely if you don't think you can win, but is it any knockout hope?
Give it a hope, mate. It'll be running on a heavy track country form, New South Wales. It's not for me, but yeah, I can't knock it on either one.
Haven't I'd be one of yours, Donnie.
He's certainly not one of mine.
All right, I'll straighten the wheels up there, but Overfull and Moulin Miss for Donnie, and then maybe Cosmic Fire is a bit of a value bet. It'll be just to see what the big boys do with the two favourites in the market, but at the prices, they're just way too short for us to play. Now, I'm modelling. I might stand up. I might get in trouble from my AV guy here because I'll be off mic, but you can see me. I've got the floral swim shady board shorts on here, and Donnie's board shorts have been posted to my house, and I got the missus to bring them down. They look like they're in Brisbane Broncos colours, so as a Titans man, that might be a bit controversial. So he'll have to pick and choose where he wears them. But I can attest, and I've actually got my board shorts on all day. They're that comfortable. They've got the grouse inner jocks as well. But I've tried the Vacay board shorts. I've tried K, and they're terrible because they float up when you're in the pool. But these are probably one of the most comfortable board shorts. So make sure you head to swimshady.com.au. And if you don't want to buy an umbrella, check out their board shorts because they're top-notch quality and the fabric feels amazing. So it feels amazing on, and the cut and fit are pretty good because I'm not in the best condition, but I'm working towards my peak. But Donnie, I reckon you'll look pretty spectacular in those. And Turbo, I think they might be able to do you some MacBet knob tog. So I can have a chat to the CEO there at Swim Shady and see if they can do a MacBet design on some speedos. So we can give them a bit of a run too.
No, well, yeah, I'd love to head down to the beach in a pair of those with Donnie down at Surfers Paradise. See what we can rustle up, I reckon.
Donnie might have a bit too much class to hang out at Surfers.
Not
but,
my thing.
Story for another day. So yeah, swimshady.com.au, and they've got the single person umbrellas. So that's their hero product there. So if you're struggling for ideas for your father-in-law or a member of your family or a beachgoer, make sure you check swimshady.com.au out. Let's get into the serious business, and that's definitely Eagle Farm on Saturday. And GK, you're a bit of a menace for race one. If it's not Donnie hunting a 2-year-old or 1,000-metre race, you're happy to get dirty in the first and start playing with the bookmakers' money. So let's have a look at race one at Eagle Farm, and it's a 2,218-metre event. It's a benchmark 78. It's the Girls' Day Out March 1 for Turbo, and Cormac T is the favourite, $3.90. So Sleek, $4. Habibi is $5.50. Old Song, $6.50. Aldenari is $7.50. You got Hallside Martini, $8.50. Artful Girl, $9.50. And then you got New World Tapestry, $21. And then Amalgamation, $21. So there's a few getting dizzy here. They've all been around a lot, but we're going to have a look at the replays of Habibi, and it's in the first light colours. This is 2 starts back, and feels like we've watched this replay about 100 times on this show. That's the Felix the Scat win, and it's in the first light colours. Take us away, GK.
Look, I've liked all 3 runs for Golan so far. This day, just got up the inside on a slowly run race, not out to its right trip. I thought this was more than a pass mark here. And then last start was out the back in the Exotic Miss race, where Exotic Miss went like 15 lengths slow to the 800. So like it had no chance, but it was super strong through the line. Like it was something like 9 lengths quick last 400, and finished alongside horses like Lintop Lab and Rogue Bear. I think that's stronger form lines than what the rest of these have. Like we've got So Sleek in the market, which is one race coming through weak benchmark races in Sydney. We've got Cormac T, which had its birthday last start, and I think what's most important here is they're going to go forward on Habiba. So the plan is that they're going to sit first 2 pairs, and if Jones gets it there, potentially 1 out, 1 back. I think this is a great bet. I think it's massively over the odds.
Yeah, I've just watched those replays, and for a race that I struggled to get much of a horn for, I'm starting to the desk here is just starting to rise. I thought that second run just didn't handle the wet track at all, but looks like that horse is absolutely flying. Turbo?
Is this Habibi? Yeah, this isn't a race I've had a great look at, but it's one where like a lot of these have found their level, and obviously Habib is one that's come over from Europe, and now it's fourth up, ready to do something. But look, if it doesn't do something in this race today, then I think I don't know. I've kind of had enough of it, to be honest. I've been following it waiting for it to do something. And look, it was all right last start. Maybe I wanted to see a little bit more of that last kind of 100 meters going up to, I don't know. It's a 2,200-meter race. They're not really my bread and butter, to be honest.
Donnie, you forgiving or
pass?
Yeah, my only concern, GK, is a winner in the heavy over in France. So I don't know what to make of that, because to my eye, in that last start, it just looked like it couldn't really get traction. But then I go deeper in its form, and it's actually won on a heavy. So it's sort of half grade me, or I've half lost the Chubb. I sort of had it, and now I've lost it.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes the heavy tracks we get up here are just different. Like, there's other horses which, they've come up here and it's been said that they don't handle wet tracks, but they handle it up here, and then vice versa, right? So like Mullane is a good example of that, where they said that Mullane wouldn't be a wet tracker, and it just seems like a complete duck up here. So look, maybe the wet tracks up here are kind of sticky, gluey, perhaps. So there could be, a bit of a different nature to the type of heavy tracks we get up here. I just think that that's just a complete forgive last start in, the exotic miss race. Like it just had none. And it's really strong through the line, more than a pass mark. And, most of these, like the form lines are rubbish. Like I think this is the one with the upside, and going forward now, it's just, Jones is just going to get this into the perfect spot. And I think it's going to have, probably the best sprint.
In Ange we trust, and in GK we trust. So I think we'll back it. And as Tommy says, it's D-Day. And then if it loses, we'll never talk about the horse ever again. And it's got absolute life. So let's jump into race 1 at Eagle Farm, number 3, Habibi. And move on quickly if it gets beaten. So this is its chance in life. Eagle Farm race 3 is the next one we're going to have a look at. It's the class 6,000 metre. And Bazik is favourite here, 210 into 205. Safe Work 460. Sunny Coast $5. Flaming Conquest $7.50. Hartoni $9. Femme Fatale $16. You got Light of Boom $20. All right, the first one, Bazik trial. Donnie.
Yeah, it's good to watch this trial. It's that's Rothweiler sitting on its outside, and it's gone on to run some okay races and started quite short in a couple of nice Brisbane races. And we've got a good checking point just after this trial. We had Zarasto trial, and after that we had Hidden Wealth trial, and they all ran similar times. Bazik's probably 2 lengths slower than those trials, but just look how it's running through the line under no pressure and running good time. So I just love that piece of work from Bazik, and I think it's a good thing here. I think there's not much talent in this race whatsoever. So Bazik's just going to bounce out. It's either going to sit outside the lead or maybe stalk the speed and peel off their backs, and hopefully it just goes bang straight past them. I think it's way too good for this lot.
The next pick of the market is Safe Work, and that's Callow for Morrissey. And you can just see it there with the yellow and red. It's got the drop on the leaders here. If she is off a game, Bazik, this is the only danger, you think?
Only danger, yeah, for sure. I think it's ran some really big figures here. It's a bit of a giant kill. I think it's Appian Girl or a horse similar that it was $1.20 favourite, and it just kind of peels off its back and it's too strong late. It is the only danger. It's a 56 starter with only 6 wins, so I've taken a bit of the pussy approach, and I've had, say, 10 units on Bazik, and I'll have 1 unit on Safe Work just to chop it in half if to not do as much damage as I normally do if one of these shorties get rolled. So that's the way I'm playing. I'm very keen on Bazik. I think Safe Work's the only danger. I think Sunny Coast is second in the market or equal second pick. It's $5.50 from North Queensland. I don't give it much chance, nor do I give Flaming Conquest a chance. It's about $7.50. So I'm definitely in the Bazik camp. Yeah.
Still chips in the race, so you got your balls on the line. Tommy?
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree. I think, I think the map's a little bit tricky. Like, you watched the first up run last preparation of Bazik and over 1,000. I think it was caught wide, and I think Jurek might have been on it, and they took a sit and just pulled itself into the ground and went no good, and then jumped out of the ground its next start. So I think the good thing in this race, it's kind of back in grade. So I think it can kind of either lead or be outside the leader, because they've taken the blinkers off Flaming Conquest last start. So I don't think it's going to be as quick as what it has been in the past. And as Donnie said, Sunny Coast is a massive hole in the market. Like, it's a good chance it doesn't beat the ambulance home in this race. So Safe Work's the definite danger, and it probably does want a really dry track, but it could be caught up on the inside there where I've got it mapped. So look, Bazik's just a different gravy to the rest of these, and it should be really hard to beat. I think it's a good bet, kind of around that $2.05 mark, $2.
GK, can you make a case against Bazik, or are you happy to be with it?
Well, I'm just really hoping Sunny Coast wins now, so we've got that clip from Tom. But look, I've got Bazik clearly on top. I have PTSD from 1,000-meter races at Eagle Farm of late. They've been graveyards for favourites. I've got Bazik pretty much where market is right now. I don't know. That just could be the trauma of a few shorties going under that I've been on at 1,000 meters at Eagle Farm. So, look, I'm not sure if I'm going to bet in the race yet. I don't feel comfortable. Like, there's something a little bit icky about the race for me.
All right, so Donnie's chips in and he thinks the saver is safe work and somewhat confident Turbo, but he's going to shoulder arms GK. Let's go to race 5 at Eagle Farm. It's the cutest 3-year-old quality handicap over 1,600 metres. You got Run Lucy Run, the favourite here, $4.60. Sanctuary Storm, $5. Celestial Blaze, $6. Save the Dream, $6.50. Maz's, $8. And then you got Arm Heroic, $11. Shirkeray is 21 into $11. That's the big mover for the inform Jim Mason, the ex-Victorian trainer. And then you got Larrady, $14, and Saxonui, $16. Walsh Bay at $17, and Juliet at $19. 31 Hangout, and then 91 Simply Fun. Let's spin a couple of replays. And the first one, Run Lucy Run. And this is the day that she upset Gimme Space, who loomed up and just couldn't run her down.
Yeah, it was a massive run from Run Lucy Run. She just went to the front and didn't run at an overly quick tempo, but she did some really good work late in the piece. She held out a really good horse and Give Me Space. He pretty much had his chance, but Run Lucy Run kept finding. So I reckon this is a big step back in class here, dropping back against these horses. So it gets another perfect opportunity to go on with the job here. It does rising weight and rising distance, which is a slight concern. But I think the price is fine, and I'm happy to have a small bet on this horse at around the $4.50, $5 mark. I think it's clearly the horse to beat. There's not a great deal here other than that. I think Century Storm, the New South Wales horse, is the big hole in the market. So I'm happy to play on Run Lucy Run.
Mm-hmm. And the danger here is Maz's from the Archibald Neesham camp, and it's in the maroon with the bit of white on the sleeves with the nose roll, and swinging off it, and absolutely no luck here.
Yeah, it was really well back this day as well, and it just couldn't get a run when it needed to. So it's drawn gate 1 here, so it's going to sit a lot closer, and we just have to monitor the pattern of the day to see how those inside lanes are holding up. But I think this is the horse with probably the most talent going forward. You can see it's big loping action. It looks like it's going to love the step up and trip, and I think it's the main danger to Run Lucy Run. I think Celestial Blaze, the other horse, is probably an okay chance. I'm pretty much against the rest of the field, but the way I'm playing it, I'm making Run Lucy Run a decent winner, and I'll have Maziz a small winner.
They went pretty hard that day, GK Maziz, and take out the bad luck. I've got that horse nearly winning that race, so I thought there's a bit of hidden merit there.
This is just one of these races where we start to see them step out and trip, and you know, the really exposed form like Run Lucy Run, now we're getting up to a mile. Like, there is some queries about this when we see with like Mazis that it looks like the mile's just going to be completely perfect for it, right? So it's one of these races where the lightly raced brigade on the upward spiral could just make a massive step forward. And I'm not saying I'm certain that will happen with Mazis, but I'm thinking that's probably likely the case. Is it going to be enough to win? I'm not sure, but at the price it is now, it's a good each way bet. So like, I'm happy to play Mazis each way in the race. Just a small bet, to be honest. I need to see it again from Run Lucy Run. Celestial Blaze, it did go out hard, so I think it's a chance as well. But look, happy just to have a small bet, Mazis.
Ron Stewart's running pretty profitable at the moment. He's going to have his work cut out from Barrier 1, given that's not going to be the place to be. But did you have any thoughts on this race, Turbo?
No, pretty much the same as what the boys have said. Like, Maz's is like from the yard, it's just one that's going to be better suited up in distance. I just don't know whether a mile, it's probably going to be even better when it gets out to 2,000 and further. So, I'll just be monitoring if the fence is okay to be during the run, then have something on it. If not, then it's probably going to be no bet race for me.
I just worry sometimes second up 1,600 for a young horse that might bring it unstuck. If it was third up, it'd be absolutely cherry ripe. But I guess we're getting $8.50, or they bet $10. So I guess it doesn't. It's not much of a fine to back it, but nice little each way play there. So Donnie's going to be the two bet play. Run Lucy Run out in front, and then maybe Massis is just too strong late. But I can see why you like those angles. Let's have a look at Eagle Farm Race 7. It's the Bruce McLachlan Stakes over 1,200 metres. The Sydney side has come and get their final preps in for the 2-year-old. You got a Carrion Dream from the Maryard, $2.90 favourite, in from $3.20. You got High Barbie, $3.30. The Playwright, $4.40. Lockyer, $11. Talk to Be Sure is $17, and you got Secret Sort. $18, and you got horses like Cuddles at Kimmy, Mortal Halo, the Bear, much better outside the market. Let's have a look at a couple of replays here. And Hi Barbie here, I thought was a good run. Wow, she's this leggy filly, and I'm sort of looking at this win like a bit of a trial. And on a drier track, I thought she could win by a lot further. She doesn't look like she's handling it all to my eye, but class alone, she blows them away. What do you think, Turbo?
Look, when it came into the yard, Hi Barbie, I was like completely blown away, really. It's like a really cracking type. Obviously, they paid a fair bit of money for it, and it's really well bred. I didn't really like it that day at Doomben just because I thought the trial, I know it trialled on a wet track, but I didn't think it really handled it. It kept wanting to change legs and whatnot. And then it was just really, kind of laying it at shorter odds, and then it blew right out in the market. I was able to get a little bit back, but it's one where you just know it's going to get not only onto a bigger track is going to suit it, onto a dry track's going to be even better. So it is always a little bit tricky to line up the Sydney form, given like they're 2-year-olds, they got to come up and travel for the first time. Grand finals not on Saturday, but look, I find it hard to get away from Hi Barbie, especially if we're, like, as GK said early in the show, wide gates are just absolute gold. Like, a lot of people get scared of them, but when Eagle Farm the inside's off, you just can bet with confidence from wide gates, and you got to avoid inside gate. So Hi Barbie's definitely the one for me, because I just know that it's going to improve out of sight going onto a dry big track.
There's a couple there. I thought the win was ultra impressive. I know it's not really done anything on the clock, but how can you on that wet track? But the style that she did it,
100%. The
style that she did it in, given how much she didn't like that track, and then even hearing Golan, like it's as bullish as I've heard him about a 2-year-old, and he's usually one to be I haven't heard him sort of speak like that, and he thinks maybe out of all the 2-year-olds he's got, this is his best ever hope, which is a little bit scary, and I can't wait to see what she does, given it's going to be probably close to a 4 or a 5. But pardon me, there's a couple of likely Sydney types here, and let's have a look at their last start. And you got Playwright in the black sort of leading, and then in the hot pink with a weaving run, you've got Icarian Dream, which was super, GK.
Yeah, look, I actually think both of them were really good runs, to be honest. Like, this was Playwright's first start, went out pretty quick, something like length and a half quick to the 800, and, just typical gay horse, fought on well. And yeah, it's going to go forward again, and look, it probably improves again. But look, I just love the run of Icarian Dream here. Love the run of it. The start prior and the Golden Gift as well. I have Icarian Dream clearly favourite in this race, and I've already backed it. I think the Playwright is a danger. I think Hi Barbie is a danger. But yeah, look, I've got Icarian Dream clearly on top, and really happy to bet. I think it's a talented horse, and I think going out to 1200 is really going to suit. The big track's really going to suit. So yeah, really happy to be with Icarian Dream.
Donnie?
Yeah, I struggled to split the top 3 in the market, so at the moment I'll just be watching, but just can't quantify how much improvement Hi Barbie's going to take off that heavy track. So I'm happy to watch at this stage.
I think the horse that I'm going to risk, and I think it's probably the group consensus somewhat, is the Playwright. I think the winner's going to be Icarian Dream and Hi Barbie, but might be a MacBet yard race. I'm sure Tommy will be able to find the answer after the yard and to see which one he likes. But yeah, massive respect for Icarian Dream and Hi Barbie, and I think either of them can go on and win the 2-year-old Magic Million. So it's an absolute cracking race, the Bruce McLachlan. It usually is. It's usually not a bad form reference for the Magic Million, so make sure you check that one out. It's going to be an absolute ripper. But GK siding with the Sydney sider, and Turbo sticking close to home with the Queensland shorts on. Eagle Farm Race 8's the next one. It's the Falvelon Stakes over 1,200 metres, and yeah, well, it's a bet doctor horse. We love this one. It's Hidden Wealth, 270 into 215. Zarastro is $5.50. Rothfire $8. Boom Talk $9.50. Ned's Gully 12. You got the Big Goodbye at 15. All that Passaz 16. Orton scratched last week for this $16, and then you got Natuno at 21 and better, much better. The last 4 in the market there. Let's have a look at Hidden Wealth last start. GK absolutely rubber stamp this, but Turbo, you're going to jump on the bandwagon. What you like about it this day?
Yeah, it was a pretty good win in the end. Look, I was surprised Prince of Boom kind of handed up to him, and he just got it so soft in front. And look, the time was really good, but kind of like high Barbie, like how much can you look into the times given that we're going on to a good 4 there on Saturday? But I think it's one that can kind of do similar on a good track. Like it's always had ability. I think it's a progressive sprinter going through these kind of listed Group 3, Group 2s, and who knows how high it can go. And just the map is just so kind to it here. Like I think either Zarastro or it leads, given how they jump, and most likely Zarastro leads and he just sits outside it. And I don't know where any of the other pressure comes from to kind of bring them undone. I think he's a better horse than Zarastro. I think like Rothfire's got the 61 again, and the gate's a little bit sticky. It was an okay return. I don't think he's back to his best by any means, which I think he has to be to run a sectional to get past Hidden Wealth, given the map setup. Ned's Gully was a really good run. The boys ran it the other day with the big weight. It's probably, maybe it could get up to a race like this in time, but maybe it's just a little bit too soon coming towards the end of her preparation. Orden's just probably a level below kind of these at 1200. It's probably more a 1400 meter horse. So you just got to keep coming back to Hidden Wealth. And the question is, and it's probably why you're getting kind of 260, is can it reproduce it on a good 4? And I think it definitely can. So I'm quite happy to take that risk, and I think it's really hard to beat.
I sort of started to dig a little bit deeper, and I was sort of just looking to try and find something to upset Hidden Wealth, given I'd missed the price, 270 into 215. And Boom Talk was the horse that I didn't mind the trial of here. I thought this was a pretty quiet trial, but ultra impressive, and the margin doesn't really mean anything, but the horse in front's Find Your Own, which was a pretty good winner on Saturday on the wet track, but you got Boom Talk in the purple. So when he got off heels of the third place runner there, he skipped to the line really nicely there, and I thought he was really going really well leading into the Kosciuszko, and I think he loves the dry track as well. So I think I could forgive a few horses in the Kosciuszko, and I think that Far Too Easy front page at Tanglewood form is close enough to a race like this. And I missed the $11 Boom Talk, but even at $9.50, I could sort of still entertain that price. Given barrier 4, they probably know what they're in for here and have to settle a little bit closer. But the horse has done that in the past over 1,200 metres and still finished off pretty well. I'm not sure if I can build a strong enough case against GK to have a saver, but I'll let him have a right to apply anyway.
I just thought this will be a good pipe opener for Boom Talk to run second or third, getting it ready for the Magic Millions Day. Hidden Wealth's going to win this race.
Donnie?
Yeah, I'll kind of lend towards the Rester. I think he was very good first up over 1,000 when caught wide, and it will lead him up here. So I'd rather be with Resto each way than Hidden Wealth. And I think I agree with GK. I think you can save your pennies on Boom Talk for Magic Millions Day, because last year, was it this week or the following week, it had a real pipe opener and opened $20 on Magic Millions Day. So hopefully we can get a similar situation with Boom Talk and wait this week, and we'll back it on Magic Millions Day.
Yeah, standing. So Matt done set up jobs. So the boys have a split here. So Hidden Wealth for GK and Turbo, and then Zarastro for Donnie there, and Boom Talk for me is going to run in a nice third with strangled to death by the sounds of it. So any early bet from Scoot's probably confetti. Terrific. Race 10 is Eagle Farm. It's a Class 3 plate over 1,200 metres here. And Taltani Fields is favourite, $3.80. Adriel, $4.80. Thank you, Henry, $4.80. He-Man, $8.50. Epic Proportions, $11. Tannenberg, $14. Certainly I Can, $15. No Name Frank, $20. And then you got Ivan 0.21, Russian Sub 21. Liberty Steps, the horse John McLeod tipped last week, 41 into 21. And then you got Crestbrook, $26. The horse I like here is He-Man, and I thought this was pretty good and pretty good run in Sydney, and now it's gone to Chris and Corey Muntz, and the form here is around Ravello, which I think it went on and run a pretty good race in the Little Dance. So He-Man's just sort of struggling to find clear air here, but I sort of didn't mind the way that he hit the line here, and I thought if he ran up to this rating, I think he'd go really, really close here, and I don't think this is much stronger at all. He did have a trial, and I thought he looked pretty good in the trial, so he's adapted and fit him well. He trialled behind a Dern and got the job there done at Deegan, and I think that was a heavy track where he had that trial at Deegan. So I'm saying he's a much better horse on top of the ground. So I think he's acclimatised really well. And Martin Harley's sort of one of those jockeys where he can either ride him super cold or he's really good with a setup horse. So knowing the month's camp, I think this could be just an absolute target race. And I've always thought he's probably a bomb fresh sort of 1,200 metre horse. So I started to take the $10 yesterday. I was pretty happy with that sort of price. And he's my best of the day. I thought the dangers is Adriel. Let's have a look at its replay. That was in the Gateway, and I think I half tipped this horse up pre-Gateway day at $26, and he just didn't really run the trip out here. About this stage, I thought, wow, Scoot, you're a genius. But just run out of petrol, and I think it was you, Turbo, or someone said that this is a race that's could throw up a bolter result, but just shattering. He just couldn't close out that final 50. So I think the step back to 1,200 is good, but again, now we have to sort of take $4.80, and I think He-Man would have won that race if he was there. And the other horse that Donnie likes, but it's got a sticky gate. Barrier 14 might be the place to be, but this was still a pretty good win for Taltani Fields. And my old mate Kelly Schweit is having a bit of a purple patch at the moment, but you can see it here in the red with the black hat, and does really well here to extricate itself, and just finds a way to pick himself through the field and finish off. So had he gets clear out early there, he probably wins by further. So yeah, sure, he's absolutely flying that horse and got some big upside, but they haven't really missed him either, 60 kilos, whereas He-Man's just sitting there at 57 kilos. So from a price point and a class point, I think He-Man can make a big impression here back to a dry track. And yeah, they've stretched him out and over sort of 1,400 and 1,600 metres in the past, but I think this will be right up his alley. Thoughts, Donnie?
Yeah, He-Man, the only issue for me is just where it's going to be in the run. From my math, it looks like it's going to be back near last on the rail, which we know is not the best spot the last couple of weeks. So yeah, Taltani Fields is drawn mid to wide, which probably suits. It's got enough speed to overcome that, and you'll probably just tag the speeders being the second or third pair. It's going to get every chance to win again. I think it's a new horse this preparation, and just love the work it did in that last 100 and past the post last start when it was held up. So I'm not launching, but I think it's a really good each way play. Or when it was around $5.50 mark, it was a nice each way play because I just can't see it missing the place.
Yeah, the big scratching was Ouroboros, which has looked horrible in trials, but it had form around Cylinder and all the big Melbourne horses. So that was sort of my reason for stepping into this race with a bit of confidence, because I thought it had none, and they've ended up scratching it anyway. So as soon as they scratched it, I jumped all over He-Man. Turbo?
Yeah, no, I think you're on the right path here for sure, because when you look at the map here, there's we're doing it on a Friday. There's obviously there might be scratchings to come, but as we look at it now, I've got 1, 2, 3, maybe like 6 or 7 horses that can go forward and want to try and find the lead. So He-Man's the one where I don't know whether it can run a sectional at 1,200, but if it's really testing 1,200, then I think, especially fresh, as you said, I think it's going to be. Look, obviously being on the inside sticky, but it's going to be really strong late, hopefully coming towards the outside or looking for gaps through the middle. And the other one Donnie said was Taltani Fields. Absolutely agree. New horses preparation. It's finally, the pennies kind of dropped. And I don't think, as we said, outside gates wouldn't be too concerned, to be honest. I think especially with a lot of speed in the race, should string out, find a nice position, and it's definitely the horse to beat. I was quite happy to kind of risk Adriel. I'm not sure the strength of that Gateway, and it kind of had the perfect run in transit off the fence. Yes, back to 1,200 is a positive, but I just love the way Taltani Fields and the kind of setup for He-Man in this race.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that He-Man can find the back of Adriel in running and then whoosh straight past it on his outside. GK?
Yeah, pretty similar. There's just so much tempo in this race. I have Taltani Fields on top. I'd be keener if I knew that they were just going to let the speed go and just sort of sit off it, even 3 wide line, 1 or 2 back off the speed. Like that would be the perfect spot for Taltani Fields in this race. that could be asking too much. But yeah, I could definitely make a case for He-Man.
Yeah, I'll probably cover up on Taltani Fields, but I'll be. I've already started to bet He-Man, and if it's gets really bone dry, I'll be launching and be pretty happy with how that sort of pans out. Hopefully. The last segment is the TopSport early bets. So they went 2 for 4 last week, and there's a couple of bets for Friday night at the Gold Coast, and there's a little bit of action there for Eagle Farm on Saturday. So the first bet, Gold Coast race 5, number 3 is Jaggery. 150 at $15. This is the unraced race, and it looks like it's Callow Birchley, which is a bit smelly. Donnie, have you got to this race?
Yeah, I didn't give it much of a chance. Thought the top trial was a bit too slow, but this is the feature of the night, the debutant of $300,000 race. So it's a couple of nice horses here, but I haven't had a bet in the race.
Okay. Anyone else like that bet or hate it?
Oh, I haven't had a look at it, but if it's Aloe, Birchley, then yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire, they say. So if it's not firing there tonight, then it's probably one to follow, that's for sure.
All right, the next bet here is race 6, number 6, and that's Mashani Lily. So it's 1,000 at 360. So we've already given that race a fair bit of airtime. The next one is Eagle Farm, race 3, number 2, and that's Bazik. So that's 2,000 at $2.10. Again,
it's Donnie's ticket.
It could be Donnie's action there, but GK
Might as well pay that out already.
there has been, as GK's alerted us, there's been some favourites go over at the 1,000, but Donnie's confident with his personal 10-unit play, so hopefully that gets the chocolates.
Scooty, a 1,000-metre race feels like a staying race to me because I do my best work at the over 800, so I don't have that fear that GK does.
2,000's just 1 unit of that 10-unit bet as well.
We can start previewing Kilcoy and S races if you like to make the show an hour and a half version. But amazing, Donnie, you walk where angels fear to tread. It's a complete opposite of what I like to do, but that's why I love you. Eagle Farm race 8, number 2. This could be Donnie's. If it had another 0, it might be his bet. But this is interesting. Zarastro 400 at 650. So that's to win a couple of thousand there. So that could be maybe a partial job there. But interesting to see how that race shapes out as well. So yeah, the Golan horses might get full control there. But cracking show. I hope we're all this fresh this time next week. So Santa would have arrived, and hopefully we've got through Boxing Day. And I think we've got another show scheduled for early Friday because the racing just never stops. And then we're full steam ahead into the so next week we've got a Saturday show. It must be at Eagle Farm, I guess, or Doomben. And then we've got the Wave Day, and then we've got Magic Millions Day. So some massive racing coming up in the next few weeks. And just, fascinated to see how the Gold Coast rollout goes tonight. And, there's just so much form. And so the field size is just absolutely massive at the moment. And the best thing is the weather's turned. So it's a really good outcome for Racing Queensland. And they've got through that real wet, sticky patch, touch wood. And hopefully and the tracks, they've have managed to get through it as well. So big thanks for me. And then if you want more of the boys' stuff, you've got MacBet, you've got Tommy stuff, or GK, you can go to at Brizzy Form Guide on Twitter, or you can just email brisbaneformguide@gmail.com and jump in the chat room. There's plenty of action in there as well. And our syndicate's going all right as well, Donnie. Lately we've had a couple of big collects, so it's there's plenty of extra help there if you need it, because I think it's worthwhile. There's so much product and so much betting to do and so much form, and everyone's got their eye on it. So if you like the style of any of the boys, make sure you get around and support them and help them, and then help yourself with getting the workload taken off you, especially during this Christmas period, because there's so many good betting opportunities. But big thanks to me, and we'll see all you boys next week, bright and early. Can't wait. Good luck, and have a great Christmas, everyone.